Oh, yeah.
And also, let's take attendance. So we're missing Zoe and who else? Sabine, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, you could use the one that my phone. Yeah. Here, I'll get out of the way. Okay. All right. So let's go over let me take attendance. Okay, no Sabine and no Zoe. Okay, cool. So let's go to the homework and then we'll do the notes for today. All right, so for the homework, hopefully you guys are comfortable with these problems. So yeah, if you have a chord and you have a segment that's perpendicular to it, that'll form a perpendicular angle. So right, these two ones will be perpendicular to form a right angle. So if that's 3 and that's 5, that has to be 4, right? So there you go. Not that. And then X, Y, Z. Or same thing here, like, oh, okay, well, if that's 13, and also what else we know? PQ is 24, so that's gonna have 12, that's be 5. Oh, I'm 75. So hopefully those first two are okay. Looking at 3, 4. 3, 4. Yeah, more of the same stuff again. Now, the one thing that we know is RS is 18. Remember, it gets cut in half again, and you got 9, 9, 7, 9 or 2. So not that hard. Here we got angles. There's a mistake here. That's got to be 55, 55. So please make any corrections to your homework. So if you did this on Cami or online or either on paper, just make corrections to it. Oh, good, you're good. No, you're good. But I'm just saying, if you, anyway, if you're looking at if you looked at the answer key on Schoology and thought you got it wrong, you actually got it right. That's what I'm saying. So 55, 55, right? Because that's going to be 1/10. I got 10 half. Okay, 5, 6. Yeah. So what's going to happen here? Remember, congruent chords, guys, right? Congruent chords, congruent arcs, right? So these are congruent. Now, if you got 120 from A to D, how much is left for all the other parts combined? And you got to split 3 ways. So 80, 80, 80, right? Here again, you got 2 congruent chords, not very obvious, but I think they're congruent. Maybe, if I'm wrong. Yeah, looks like they are. So anyhow, if that's 90, BD is 90, so CD's got to pass instead of 45. Yeah, it looks like there's little markings, so it's not very obvious, very subtle. Next up, you got 2 non-congruent chords. Is the long chord farther from the center? The long chord is actually closer, right? It's got to be closer. That's what makes it longer. Then hence it makes the arc there, right? So we notice that also. For 11, yeah, race is 10, X, Y is 8. Cut it, work it out. You're good there. For 12, you got that. What's going on there? 2, 8, work it out. Likewise here. And yeah. Okay. And homework 34, tonight will be on Delta Math. So you have a Delta Math tonight because I see you guys again tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, should be posted. Let me double check actually. The links might not be there. Let me double check. So I think that's yeah, it's probably not there. I'll try to do it while I go doing the quiz. I'll take care of it. Okay, so we have a homework quiz after the lesson. The lesson is only 2 pages, between pages 11 and 12. So get your notes between pages 11 and 12. The homework quiz, I mentioned some people. Again, you can use your notes or homework for the homework quiz. Yeah, yeah. So if you forget any concepts, it's there. Now, one thing I will advise you is like, you shouldn't have to really, well, you shouldn't have to rely on it too heavily or be so codependent on it. Because if you are, it means you probably don't know the concepts very well. So it's just more like, oh, I forgot like what happens when it tangents to the circle, it's perpendicular to the radius, like things like that. You might be a little unsure of. It's good to have that. I'm okay with that. The multiple choice questions, they actually come from an ACT preparation materials that I have. The multiple choice, so you have to obviously circle the answer, but also provide some proof or some explanation. But it's all the stuff we've been doing recently. So it's all those concepts. Two. Two multiple choice. 5 points each. There's two multiple choice. Yeah, 5 points each. So so it goes in the homework categories. With one homework, correct? Homework category, not a major. Yeah. Feel better. Okay, good. All right. And you guys should have plenty of time to work on it. And if you finish it early, then you could start working on Delta Math. Okay. Here we go. And I think this will be the last week of new material. After this week, I don't want to do any more new material. So next week we'll do review. So this Friday, or so I don't see you guys Friday. This Thursday, I want to give you guys the review for the test. Also, I'm going to give you the review for the final exam too, if you want to get a head start to that too. So yeah, final's going to come up like literally in 3 weeks. It's coming up fast. Yeah. Yes.
Wait, do we math first or GP?
G first and math. Yeah, I don't know why it's done that way. I'm not sure, but yeah. But it means that your B period, you have no final, right? You have no B period final. Correct. Right. Right. And if you're lucky, if your A period doesn't have a final, then you're done. All right. So let's get moving, guys. All right, guys, let's go. So inscribed angles. You guys had this in a Delta Math last week. I think I kind of mentioned what you have to do, but inscribed angle is an angle where the vertex is on the circle, not the center. The vertex is on the angle, not the center. And the sides of the angle are chords of the circle. So we say it intercepts the arc. Which of the angles are inscribed angles? Well, definitely this one, and definitely this one, not that one. This one we call a central angle, right? Because it's at the center of the circle, right? The vertex at the center of the circle. But this is inscribed because the angle is fully inside the circle, right? It's fully inside of it. Or not fully inside, but the vertex touches a point on the circle. So that for sure. And then the other thing that we want to keep in mind too, which we'll talk about, is that whatever the angle is, if this is x, then all this right here, if that's x degrees, that's 2x degrees. So it's always half. The inscribed angle is always half of the arc it intercepts, or the arc is always double the angle. However you want to think of it, but there's a 2-to-1 ratio between the arc and the inscribed angle. So for example, this kind of looks like maybe 40 degrees. Or actually, I lied. Maybe more like 50 degrees, right? So how long do you think this arc would be? 100. Because it's always be double. Or this one looks pretty big, right? This one looks like it's probably, I don't know, 120, we'll say. So if that's 120, how long is all this? 240, correct. Right, so it's got to be that. So it's pretty simple. That's all we're doing. So in this case, and there's just some more conceptual things we should talk about. If we call this x, and I call this x, if we think about it, just got a highlighter here. This angle intercepts that arc, right? This angle intercepts that arc. So this arc is of course 2x. So here's what we can a statement we can make about that. So this is 2x. Actually, let's try that a little differently. So that's 2x. So here's what we could say about that. I'm gonna make a little text box. If two inscribed angles intercept the same arc, then those two angles are congruent. That's not going to work for me. Hold on. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you have two, so say for example, I told you this arc was like 100 degrees. Then what are angles 182 each? For both. That's it. And they have to be the same because they come from the same arc. Okay, so that's one observation. Another one. This is a what am I tracing? What do we call that? How much of the circle am I tracing? It's semicircle, right? So therefore, that's 90. Angle B is 90 degrees because intercepts semi circle. It's a lot of material, but we give you all the formulas.
That's gonna be super long then.
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'll let you know by the end of the week. So yeah. Also, the diameter, is the chord here. But I think bottom line is a right angle intercepts a semicircle. We know that. Okay. Okay, next up. We'll say it calls them A, C, X, and Y. Okay.
From the
Yeah, these are angles. These are all angles. Okay. So it's a quadrilateral inscribed in a circle. So here's it's not gonna be very obvious right now, but hopefully you guys can see this. Here's how we know that. Great question. Okay, look at the purple. Look at angle A. Well, angle A has what two endpoints, and it's angle B and B, right? So most of the purple covers B. So the purple is formed by angle A. Now look at angle C.
Oh.
Green, correct. Angle A is described, and angle C is described, but also the angle C. Angle C is green part. So what's happening here? What do the green and purple add up to? Obviously, 360, almost half of 360. That's why it's 180. That's why A plus C is 180 because A plus C. Because the C is half of this, and A is half of this. Now, do I know what the green and purple are individually? I do not. I do not. But do I know that the green and purple add to 360? I do. No. No. Because here's the thing. What if this is like 200? And what is 160? What's half of them? 180, right? It doesn't matter how we slice and dice it. These two are going to add 360. And if I take half of their sum or half of the division and add them up, it doesn't matter. Whether I take half of the sum or half of the division and add them up, it's still going to get to 180. And that's what A plus C is 180. Likewise with X and Y. If I look at X and Y, do the same exact thing, also have to 180. And also, if you think about it, what do this pair and this pair, all four of these angles have to what? So quadrilateral has to have to what? 360, right? And what happens to add both equations? Do I get 360? Yeah. X plus Y plus A plus C, 180 plus 180. So that's another thing that's happening too. Another concept. And then the last concept, and we'll start doing some practice problems. It's kind of a funky one. So this is a tangent line and a chord. So here's your tangent line. Here's your chord. So it's tricky, but what's happening here is that if I call this angle x degrees, the arc is 2x degrees. So for example, if this were like, say, if this angle here was like 30, then what's the angle of the arc? 60, right? Yeah. So that's 30, that's 60. So that's another thing that's kind of funky. It's kind of hard to prove. I'm not gonna really, I'm just kind of just telling you, just something we just accept. At the angle, whatever this angle is formed by these two lines here, the tangent and the chord, whatever that angle is, the arc it intercepts is double. Just like we saw all the other stuff. Yeah, it's just double. The same ratio. It's just kind of a funky. It's kind of like two chords. So these are two chords, obviously, right? Chord, chord. This is chord, tangent. Of course, this is a chord, but it's a right triangle. And here you got a bunch of chords, but they form a quadrilateral. So now let's move on to some problems. Okay. I'll do a couple of these and then I'll have you guys try the rest. And then we'll save the proof at the end. Again, we're not doing a formal proof. I checked in today, so we're not doing a formal proof. So anyhow, let's take a look at 6 and 7. All right. So we're not gonna do a proof. On the test, no. So yeah, if that's okay, so let's take a look at 160 is this. Okay, that's 160. And let's get another color going here. Okay. Not exactly. No, not exactly. Um, hmm. X is 80. Yes, I agree. X is 80. Yeah, notice so you guys asked, is this challenging? Yes, it is. Because it plays tricks in your eyes. My eyes are playing tricks on me. X is the red, right? It's pretty good. X intersects the red. The red is 160, so X is 80. Good. Okay. You guys see that? Okay, full trick. Let me get rid of the green because the green's messing with you guys. Let me get highlighter. This will help. There we go. That should help. Okay, so here's X, right? The paint highlighting, and it's intersecting the red arc. You see these endpoints, and how long is the red arc? That's what's half 160. So X has to be 80. That's half right. Again, our eyes play quick on us, right? So that's 80. Right. Well, hold on a sec. Then we know that if this is 80, then what's the same go over here? I think yes, you are correct. But we'll before we get there, if that's 80 and 60, that's 140. That's 32. Therefore, Z has to be 64 degrees.
And then the line is 136.
Yeah, how do I know that's 32? Because these two angles have to have 180, right? You know that for a triangle. And then if that's 32, this has to be 64 because this angle intercepts B. And if I, 160 and 64 add to 224, what are you getting at? Wait, no. Wait, 160 plus 64 is 224, right? Yeah. So you're gonna do 369 is 224. 360. Yeah, you're close. So 136? Or did you say 136? That's true also. Yeah. Yeah, but the things that's or you could do 1/2. Oh, wait 1 sec. No, that's wrong. It's not. Y is not 136. It just the arc is 136 next to it. Y is not one. No, you are right. It was one. It was 112. You are correct. It was 112. The reason why it's 112, again, your eyes will play tricks on you. Why is it 112? Because this is angle Y, right? What is it intercepting? Right. And what was Z? Z was 64. Because 160 plus 64 is 224. What's happening to 224? 112. That happened. This arc is this arc is 130, so that has nothing to do with Y. The Y is representing about that. So sure, but we don't care about that. So what we do care about is what angle Y is. The angle Y is intercepting that. That's what control. Yeah, so you can see it gets a little tricky. So we're okay with that with 6. Okay, let's try another one. I'll try some more. Okay, I'll do 7 with you guys, and you guys do 8, 9. Okay, so here's the deal. I know this is a right angle. Okay, I know it's a right angle. Right, because it's intercepting a semicircle. I know Z is going to be 90. Because it's going through the center. That's why. We can assume because that's what's happening. So you're intercepting that. Okay. So Z is 90. Oh, how do I know that? Oh, sorry. Sorry, just gloss over this. That's 90. That's 45 meters. Give that a rectangle. So that's 45. Yeah, double. Then, oh yeah, this is easy. X and Y should be pretty straightforward. Yeah, X and Y are both 90 as well. How do I know that? Because X is intersecting another semicircle, so is Y. And the semicircle is 180, therefore X and Y both have to be. Okay, going to try 8, 9. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to try that, and then we'll move on to more down below. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, of course. Yeah, go for it. All righty, what you guys get for Z? Okay. You know, I should do this. I should get political and say 8647. You guys don't get that? So the former FBI director put on the beach when he's on vacation. 47 is Donald Trump. 86 is the code for like takeout. So yeah. Well, basically, if you're at a restaurant, they say something's 86, like you're out of it. So anyway, so I could get very political, but I won't do that. So I don't want to get fired. So yeah, James Comey, because he had a very contentious relationship. But he's still there. But no, but the one that was there, I think when Obama was president. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, Z is 86. Then X is gonna be what? No. No, X.
Wait, this is my triangle I saw.
Good. Why? Why?
What's 10? Is that simple? So why has to be 70?
So this is the yes, correct. Yeah, hold up, Colette. Yeah, hold up. No, you got it. You got it. Okay. Slow it down. All right. Yes, this is 70 because this is 110, right? Because you got a semicircle going on there. So y is a central angle because it's vertex at the center. So y is totally 70. And then x is an inscribed angle intercepting 70, therefore x is 35. So x is 35. Whoa. What was going on there? Okay. Anyhow, so does that make sense? Yes? No? Okay, let's talk. That's fine. We'll talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it. But Z is cool. You guys see what Z things do. Yeah. Because this arc has to be that's 110. That's why. See, again, I suppose if you put this.
We've been I keep wide. Get wide, but
You get why works.
get wide.
So here's an X is intercepting thing. X is half. Intercepting that arc, the purple arc. Yeah. Okay, for 9, there's a lot going on here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I get it now because I
Okay.
that line of y like x is a separate triangle. I was thinking it connecting the other line.
No problem. To make lives easier for ourselves, I'm just going to kind of just tell you straight up. That's all we need to do. Because here's the deal. We already discussed this. We saw this earlier. These are going to have the 180. These are going to have the 180 because it's combined. Great question.
Oh, because 110 plus x. Didn't you do 110 plus x?
Hold on. No. We know split because of opposite angles. Hold on. What's Z, guys? Which is? Got it. Well, Colette, you're on fire today. Let's see this. Let's see this. All right. Okay. Okay. So each have the 180 because what's happening, they intercept two arcs that form the full circle. So we saw this in the previous page. We know that opposite angles are quadrilateral, but it's inscribed at 180. So these have 180, these have 180. So that's easy. X is over 5, Y is 70. Now, this right here is 70. So this right here is 140. Therefore, that has to be 80. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now you guys are feeling a little warmed up. Try the next 6. This is going to take some time. Try it. Then after that, we'll do the quiz.
Quiz on this.
No. I'll just quiz last week.
Oh, I mean,
So give us a shot.
I'm confused.
Which one? I'll put some stuff up on the board. I'll get it out.
Oh, it's center of the circle.
Yeah.
Okay, C is half of A. B is half of 40.
Oh my god, wait, I
Okay. For 2, C plus 95 equals 180. A plus 105. Which is C point? C point over here. Oh. Here, A's half 180. This is also going to be B right here. It's also like say
Okay. So I'm gonna do 95 times 2 is 190, and if you do 190, 1,000. Okay, that works. But it is, no, it is, it is, you have to circle.
Yeah, put some hints here for all these.
Yeah, so that's totally. Oh, and then it must be down like this. That would be, one more. Oh, maybe what do you like?
B is pretty obvious. What's B, guys? 20? You guys agree B is 20? What's A, guys? 30. Yep, I agree. What's C, guys? Outstanding. Okay, so 1, check it off. Okay, what's A? For 2? 75. B? Well, hold on. C is 85. Yeah, and then B, a little more challenging. Hold on. Yeah, 80, right. I like that. You guys agree with B being 80? Cool. Yeah, because if that's 95, right, then that has to be 190, and then you gotta take 110 away from 190. Okay. All right. Okay, 3. What's A? Mm-hmm. And B? Yeah.
110, 1.
Nope. 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 That's 95. It's intercepting this. 95 is 190. Double it, 190. That's what it is. Yeah.
But oh my God. What are we at? Good one. And then you want to turn it in.
Yeah.
Is there X one? No, you don't do that. Oh, it's C.
Oh, I had it here. I got rid of it.
But what is the answer?
So that's not number 4. Oh, no, the 3 or 4. Okay. For 3, we know this is 49. That's 49. Of course. Yeah. So that's that was yes. So that's 56. That's 112. This arc here. And so A's got to half that still, so that's 56. So that's 112. Now we know this is 62, right? And it's intercepting this arc. 62, double it up, 124.
Oh.
And I know I put X. I meant to put C. Sorry, I know I need to get glasses. So let's see. Here we go. A tangent line and a chord is always half arc intercepts. So arc's 112. This 56 is half of this. And then this part, this angle here is half of 112.
I'll do 62 for.
Oh, because you have an isosceles triangle. Right, 56 is a base, is a vertex angle, and then you gotta figure out what's left over and divide by 2. For 5, you should get B is going to be 105. And C is going to be 90. Therefore, A is still 90, yes. Oh, for B? Yeah, because it's intercepting this arc here. 100 plus 110 is 210. Gotta be half to each other. And then if that's 50. By the way, for our lines, old stuff. A is gonna be 50, and B is gonna be 100. And if that's 100, that's 80. C is gonna be 40. Okay, so hopefully we're okay with that. All's good. All right. Okay, cool. For 7, C is 40 for number 6. Oh, because once I got this was this is 50, that was 50.
Yeah.
So that was 100. So this arc here has to be 80. And this is half that. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. All right. Really quickly, just to talk this one out. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but you're asked to prove that angle ZYX and YZW are the same, and you're told that these arcs are the same. If we just kind of sort of just think numerically what's happening, like I'm just gonna be hypothetical. I don't know for sure, but being hypothetical, let's say this is like 120, and that's 120, and let's say it's 40. Again, totally being hypothetical, right? So ZYX, of course, is gonna be half of all this. So that's 80. And YZW has to be half of all this, which is also 80. So if you kind of worked out numbers, because they both share WX. So angle Y is half of this, angle Z is half of this. They both have congruent arcs, but also they share that. It's kind of like a reflexive kind of angled arc addition possible thing, but I don't want to get too deep into it. But yeah, it's just more just a conjecture you can make, like, oh, let's actually plug in some numbers and see if it makes sense. But we'll leave it alone. Let's go on the homework quiz. Okay, homework quiz. I'll hand it out. Okay. Notes and homework. And any resources you have in your binder. No, any resources on.
What is that?
It just states that you have two congruent arcs. The angle comes up at all. But what I do is I plug in like we have numbers.
The 2 lines intersecting.
The 2 angles, 2 of this. And then we'll be update let me create delta map. Yes, I've got this. you want a hint, try to find area of the circle first.